Let's go! What's up, everybody? Oh my god, I have so many technical issues. That never happened before. YouTube wouldn't let me stream. I was clicking stream and it wasn't going. Isn't that crazy? Guys, welcome to the very first Patreon video game jukebox stream. What's up, Racing, Abigail, Raspberry, Apkin, New Master, Tom Sai, Signa, Apple Juice, Pompolga. How are you guys? Apkin says, explain the Patreon jukebox. That's a great question, because probably not a lot of people know, because it's the first one. I have recently completely overhauled. New Master says, is this what Marco Meatball does, Davi? I don't know if it's exactly like he does, but I did talk to him before doing this. I took some advice from him, because I wasn't happy with how my Patreon was. For a long time, it was kind of abandoned. I was only like doing monthly polls in there. I wasn't happy with the fact that almost all of the interactions on Patreon, almost all of the rewards on Patreon were random. You know, you were depending on a random selection or on a poll. Davi, the audio is louder than you. Hold up. Many technical issues. It's probably better. Hold up. Yeah, it's probably better. You also joined the... Yeah, there's members on this channel now. Yeah, but anyway, let me continue. I wasn't happy with the way that the rewards were so random in Patreon. So the response to that is this, the Patreon jukebox streams, where you can go on Patreon, you can subscribe to certain tiers, and you have a guaranteed song request heard on this stream. But you might say, hey Davi, isn't this just another old music stream like all the ones you do? No! You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you a little thing that's immediately going to put into perspective how different this is going to be. You know how many songs we have to go through today? 8. So this is what I want for these streams, you know? I want it to be a more laid back, slow-paced stream where we can do this, we can talk, and we can spend more, we can give more individual attention to fewer tracks, you know? I think that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. It's like live videos. Yeah, it's gonna be less individual attention than a full video, and more individual attention than one of the like bulk streams where we listen to like 40 tracks in one stream, you know? That should make the streams a lot more laid back and like relaxing, and it should also like feel enticing to people to subscribe to the Patreon, because like people are gonna see these streams. This is my goal, at least. People are gonna see these streams and gonna see how much individual attention we're giving to each track, and they're gonna say, whoa, I want that. And thank you guys for the memberships, by the way. Thank you. Thank you, Raspberry. Thank you, Abken. Thank you, Yosu. Yeah, we have memberships in this channel now. Thank you guys. So should we start? Today, by the way, we're going over the suggestions of our music gods and our music oracles. And again, like I explained before, these are guaranteed song requests. There's nothing random about this. So we're gonna start. Let's start. And this one that's playing right now, I don't know. I thought this could be the opening song for these streams, the festival theme from Harvest Moon. So the first one is Anima. This is a request from one of our music gods. And I think it's from a game called Demo. I'm gonna raise the volume again. You guys tell me if it's too loud. Let's go. Epkin says, is the game channel dead now? I transformed the gaming channel into a VODs channel. So the gaming VODs will be uploaded there. When is the next gaming stream? I don't know yet, man. I have to take it easy a little bit. I've been working too much. I've been doing 6 days 6 days work weeks for 4 years, and I've been starting to feel the effects. I have look at this. I have Donkey Kong set up right now. I was going to stream on Saturday. Look, I've had it set up. It's right there. But I don't know. I have to take it easy. So we're gonna stream again, and streaming games on this channel makes it a lot more lower stakes, I want to say, to me. It makes it easier for me to stream just whenever I want to, because on the other channel the gaming streams were all that was sustaining the gaming channel, right? If I didn't stream, there was nothing there. Now on this channel, there's other stuff going on in this channel, so I can just not stream games if I don't want to. And in fact, I do want to stream games on Saturday, but I should not. Yeah, a little break. Locus says, is there a list of tracks? Locus, today is just music gods and music oracles. Today, okay? So if I'm not mistaken, you're a music master, right? So your request is probably going to be on the next stream, right? Because the higher tiers have priority. Okay, so let's start. This is Anima from Demo. This is a music god request. Is that... Are you guys hearing this? Can you guys hear this? Is the audio okay? I'm having so many technical issues today. Oh, the dance beat. Oh my god. Duh. Oh my god, it sounds kind of neoclassical. Yeah, I was going to say that. Sacred says has Toho sound. I agree. Because of the piano, because of the crazy piano. But it sounds so neoclassical. Toho doesn't have that. Wow, this is so neoclassical. So it almost sounds like neoclassical Toho in a way. Dude, that's amazing. the Anjanette is here. Hey, Anjanette. Tom Size says, not really, the crazy piano is the only similarity. Not only the crazy piano, but the fact that the piano is MIDI. You know? It's not just crazy piano, it's crazy MIDI piano. The strings, man, it's so good. So many chord changes. Oh my god. There's almost like a piano concerto vibe to this. It's like a... Oh my god, this is so good, man. I want to show you guys something here. I've been hearing this throughout this entire track. There's a real, like, authentic effort to make this sound neoclassical and Baroque. It's very intense, yeah. There are chord changes all the time. The piano is crazy, obviously. I feel like there's a piano concerto intent to this. Piano concerto is one of those, like, Beethoven kind of concertos where he himself, Beethoven, was at the piano going crazy and the orchestra was supporting him. And there's, like, some symmetry based chord changes here that are very characteristic of, like, classical music and Baroque music. How do you guys like this so far? Loku says, imagine the chart in the game. Oh wait, that's right, this is a rhythm game, right? I forgot about that. This is a rhythm game. Oh my god. So I bet, Jesus, yeah, I bet it's really tough with the inputs. You probably have to follow the piano, right, with the inputs. I want to highlight a specific part here. He does this throughout the entire song, but here it's very evident. Check this out. The kind of symmetry based chord sequences. Where is he? Oh my god. Yeah, it's right here. Can you hear how the song does? Dun, 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 dun. That's one phrase, right? That's one exposition of the phrase, and then the song develops the same phrase in other tonally proportionate areas in the keyboard. So it does dun, 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 dun. Then it does in another region dun, 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 dun. This kind of harmonic progression based on symmetry and proportions like that is a very Baroque thing. Yeah, the bass line. And the thing is, it's like a piano concerto with a dance beat and, like, electronic bass, right? And it's very intense, very intense. And how the piano sounds unapologetically MIDI, right? So electronic. Dun, 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 dun. He keeps repeating that same phrase Oh. Even the bass, man. The bass. The bass sounds so baroque, so classical. The kinds of movements that it's doing. And of course... Yeah, cadenza. I was about to say that, Noob Master. Cadenza. You know, this kind of moment where... Where is it? This kind of moment where all the instrument stops and the piano in this case, because it's made to sound like a piano concerto, goes crazy shredding. It's called a cadenza. It's basically a part where the composer of the piece gives an opportunity for the lead instrument in the piece to show virtuoso ability, right? Really interesting. You need to have the paid membership on Patreon to request a song. Yes. The track list for today is already done, but if you guys subscribe today, you can get into next week's stream. Okay. So if any of you guys want to join next week's stream, you can go on Patreon. The link is in the description. You can join the Patreon. You can join the Patreon. Yeah, this is the cadenza. And as with a lot of Baroque concertos like this, there's a ton of happy chords. Raspberry's leaving, bye bye Raspberry. A ton of happy chords, there's that sensation of sophistication and majesty. There's a ton of modulations to key changes. This is extremely complex. The master says maybe you could do a community post explaining the concept so more people are aware of it. Yeah, I could do that. I did a post. Oh wow, yeah, very characteristic resolution from the Baroque period, from a like Baroque concerto. They do dun 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 dun. Very textbook resolution is an almost tense chord, and then home chord to resolve, right? Very characteristic, almost kind of like cartoony of classical Baroque music. Amazing. That was cool. Yeah, about the post. Yeah, I could do that. I did a post telling people about the Patreon overhaul, but I haven't done a post explaining these streams exactly. What makes something neoclassical? I mean, neoclassical is just a term for something that sounds classical but is new. As the name suggests, something that is classical and new. So all you have to do to sound neoclassical is sound classical and be from the modern day and age. That's all. Like a lot of people think neoclassical means like some kind of new style, something kind of different. I don't think it does. I mean, some people give different meanings to these genre kind of words. The way I see neoclassical is just like something classical that was composed today. But maybe some other people have some other interpretation of it. What do you guys think of this one? That was really cool. Really strong way to start the stream. You guys like this one? Really intense. Really intense. I definitely see the Toho. Someone pointed out the Toho similarity. I can definitely see Toho doesn't sound neoclassical, at least not usually. But as soon as I started hearing the crazy MIDI piano, I was reminded of Toho. Abigail says I loved it. Apogee says that was really good. Pompolga says I was grooving. Nice. I might even say it was a banger. classical as the period or just orchestral? Because wouldn't that be most video games and movie OSTs? Yeah, when I say sounding classical, I'm talking about the period. Because there's definitely orchestral music. There's a ton of orchestral music that doesn't sound classical. So, I think we move on. Next up is another... Oh, this is another one from a music god on Patreon. It's called Rebellion. I think it's from... What is that from again? I think it's from Fate. Yeah, Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order. I think that's a visual novel. You know, Noob Master was just saying, was just talking about, you know, I was just talking to him about orchestral music that doesn't sound classical. This is an example. This doesn't sound classical. It sounds very much modern, sounds like Hollywood. Abigail says it's an anime. Oh, really? It's a mobile gacha. Okay. Gacha game. Okay. Very glorious. A ton of happy, majestic chords. It sounds. It of course sounds like battle because of the heavy percussion and the brass and stuff. But it also sounds very positive. It sounds like victory. It sounds like you're winning or like you're doing something heroic. Epic ascending music, yeah. Loki says FGO is gacha, but the franchise has visual novel and anime. And there's no melody, right? It's just a vibe. A little bit somber with the strings. It almost reminds me a little bit of Fire Emblem music. Not only because of the composition, but because the orchestra is a sampled orchestra. It almost sounds like GameCube era kind of orchestral music. It sounds like that kind of era of orchestral samples. I wonder what year this is from. Let me try to figure out. Because this sounds like GameCube music. It's probably not GameCube music, but... let me see if I can figure out. 2019 is pretty new. It's pretty new. Wow. So if the song is that new and it sounds that old, you can tell for a fact that they were intentionally trying to nostalgia bait, you know? Because yeah, Apple Juice says I was thinking of Fire Emblem as well. It sounds like old school Fire Emblem. I think they were trying to nostalgia bait and create an orchestral sound that sounds like old video game music, like early 2000s video game music. Or they didn't have the budget. No, but even using samples, low budget samples, nowadays you can create real orchestras more realistic than this. This is definitely a choice. This is not a budget thing. You can be on a budget and create orchestras more realistic than this. This is definitely a choice. It's definitely a choice. It's definitely a choice. And I was talking about how this sounds, of course, militaristic and combat-like, but also glorious and victorious. There's a sense of benevolence to it. Whatever this is portraying, I would guess the name of the track is Rebellion, right? It's portraying a rebellion. I would say that the rebellion is probably a heroic cause, right? It's a good thing. It's probably a rebellion from the good guys, you know, because it sounds so glorious and so majestic. FGO launched on 2015, but I don't know. This one I don't know when it appeared in the game. Yeah, there's these moments of introspection, quiet moments with the strings. Did you guys like this one? Abkin says, music gods, don't disappoint us and give us some exquisite, headache-inducing horror music. Yeah, Abkin. With these streams, now that we can spend more time with each individual song, imagine this. Suggesting an headache-inducing horror song to me, and me being obligated to spend like a lot of time dissecting and listening to it. Tom Sai says, I didn't like it very much. What? I like this one. If I had to say one thing that I don't like about it, though, is that it doesn't have much melody. And again, I don't know where this is used in the game. Sometimes not having melody is a good thing depending on what you're doing in the game, depending on the type of game as well. If it's a highly strategic game and stuff, you don't want to be bombarding people's faces with melody. Lysander's here. Hey, Lysander. Atkins says, so far my rating on both is alright, not my type. I like how nostalgic this feels. It really reminds me of GameCube Fire Emblem. Newmaster says, it's a bit safe. There was a semblance of a melody, but I would have liked it for it to be more present. There was a softer moment, maybe it could have come there. Yeah. But again, like I said before, we don't know where it plays in the music. There are times where it's best to keep the music a little bit more discreet and not call too much attention to itself. It reminds me of Two Steps from Hell. Yeah, it does. What is this? This is the next one. Purity and Strictly. From Under Night in Birth. Yeah, that's a funny name. Fun name for a game. Oh. Amazing harmony. Character theme from a fighting game. Interesting. It sounds very Japanese, sounds very anime. The harmony is amazing. Oh, chorus? the harmony is so varied. Okay, wow. And there's like some really masterful chord sequences here with very, very satisfying resolutions. I want to hear some of this again. Hold up. The chorus. There's a sequence of chords here. He keeps rising. Dun, 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 dun. Very exciting. A bunch of happy chords in there. The last one is a disturbing chord. I wouldn't say this is generic. Abkin says generic, but all right. I can see where you're coming from when you say generic. I think the melody perhaps is being done by the same instrument throughout the whole song. Sometimes like the melody gets a little hard to to remember, I guess. The melody becomes a little random, I would say, like it strays a little bit. Yeah, that I think it's an instrumentation thing. New Master says the samples sound a bit tiring. I would agree, but I wouldn't say this is generic. The harmony is really good. So this is a fighting game, right? Listen to the rising chords, rising exciting chords. Na, 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 na. It sounds happy and playful with happy chords, but there's some really interesting tension sprinkled here and there. Some disturbing chords. It's quite jolly. And this is a descent. This is a chromatic descent. Is very rich, like harmonically. I'm impressed. Dun, 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 dun. There's even electric guitars at the background, on the background. Apoju says this gives me Azure Striker Gunvolt vibes. I don't think I've ever heard music from that, but I've heard of it. Is this new? And by the way, there's a bunch, in the channel I usually talk about those surprising chords, which are chords that are not supposed to be in the key. They have like an exotic, surprising feel to them, because when they come, they sound like outsiders. They're not supposed to be there. There's a lot of them here. A lot of them. I feel like that's what makes whoever this character is, Ori, her name is Ori, makes her feel special somehow, makes her feel exotic. All of those surprising chords, like we said before, it sounds jolly and cheerful, but at the same time there's these exotic, disturbing chords here and there. I wonder what that means. Tom Sai says it's funny how it sounds happy even with the chromatic descent. Yeah. Abkin says, I heard the guitar. It went metal for a fraction of a second. The guitar has been there, but it's low. It's not mixed really high. It's still there. The guitar is there. Yeah, the strings are nice. Oh, the chorus again. Yeah, string. Rachel is here. Hey, Rachel. And much like the previous track, very intentionally kind of retro sample. Tom Sai says, I finally figured out what game it was from. Yeah, it's called Under Night in Birth. I have to figure out... hold up, what if I do this? Nah. I have to figure out a way to show you guys better what's going on the screen. But this stuff, there's a lot of information. So this is Forbidden Truth. But before we go to Forbidden Truth, did you guys like this one, Purity and Strictly, the previous one? Did you guys like it? I think we are in agreement that at least this is my take on Purity and Strictly. This one that just ended. Impressive harmonically, like very varied. Made me genuinely intrigued for the character. Seems like an exotic, interesting character, judging by the harmony. The choice of instruments, I feel, especially in the melody, could be a little bit more varied. Abigail says, Cameron says it's his favorite so far. Apple Juice says, I like that one. It was good. Pompaga says, I liked it a lot. Cool. So this next one is from La Mulana 2. Let's see. It's called Forbidden Truth. Oh, wow. Exotic. So, all guitar. Yeah, this is different. Weird mix, but it feels obviously intentional. There's some... Pompaga says, I feel like it goes well with the vibe he's trying to hit. They're obviously trying to evoke an exotic feel. Apkin says, this is my favorite so far. It's so random that it's exciting. Yeah. They're using... I think they're using like Middle Eastern instrument samples, and they're tuning it like weirdly. There's some weird notes here and there that almost sound slightly out of tune. What they're doing is probably they're using microtones, I would assume, like quarters of tones to give a feeling of Arabic and Persian music. Because this is what it sounds like to me. Yeah, Oriental, yeah. And not just the instrument, not just the Oriental instruments. There's some weird quarter tones there, if you want to know what that means. Like, microtones. are like these tiny intervals, these tiny notes that we don't use in Western music, but Arabic music and Persian music uses them. It's like these micro notes that sit between the notes of Western piano, right? So you can't really do them with a piano because they're like, it's almost like they are in between the keys, like you can't reach them. uh the the Western keyboard doesn't have enough resolution, so to speak, to express these notes. These are smaller notes than we're used to, and I feel like I can hear some of that. There's like stuff that almost sounds like a little bit out of tune, of course, intentional. New Master says, I really like the composition and use of instruments, but the lead instruments being so in the back kills it for me. Wish the mix was clearer. Yeah, they're very much in the back. Oh, that's a more prominent melody. Dude, I feel like this would go hard during gameplay. I don't know what this game plays like. Is it a platformer? I think it's a platformer, right? I feel like it's one of those tracks that really shines during gameplay. Because I bet the place this plays in during the game is super exotic, right? Probably Middle Eastern inspired. Oh, and by the way, I forgot. So Chat in the chat sent me a super chat earlier. I forgot to mention it. Thank you, So Chat. Let me see what you said. I forget. Let me see. Hold up. Just a sec. Let me fetch the super chat. Oh yeah, since it's a Metroidvania. Yeah, Socha said, hi Davi, I've been so looking forward to the new era. Let's enjoy this. Thank you. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, let's enjoy the new era. I'm excited about these new streams. I'm excited. Brawlman is here. Hey, Brawlman. So next up we have Toho. Did you guys like the La Mulana one? I expect it to be divisive. Socha says he got a tribal feel. Abkin says yes. Pompawa says yes a ton. It's making me want to play the game. I'm really curious to see what's going on in the screen while the La Mulana track plays. He also says it was interesting. Yeah, for me, it wasn't like a straight banger, but it was interesting. It was intriguing. Let's go. Next up is Toho. And the name of this Toho track is Pierrot of the Star Spangled Banner. Is there an American character in Toho? That is intriguing. Let's see. IDM is here. Hey, IDM. Oh. pretty negative, just tense. Nice melody. I love the way he uses the... Oh, the drums. I love the way he does melody on that little chorus. Abigail says, doesn't sound very American. There's something different to this track though. It's Toho 15, right? So it's one of the newer ones, I guess. Yeah, I was talking about the harmony on this little chorus here. You know, you guys know the Toho sequence, right? I talk about it every time, and he uses it every time. This time he kind of blue balled us for a little bit on the Toho sequence. At the beginning he did a descent that felt very pessimistic, very dangerous, intense, and negative. And then this chorus gets more playful, and he blue balls us on the Toho sequence. He doesn't do the Toho sequence except for the very end of the chorus. The chorus does do 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 do. The harmony goes everywhere, and then at the end he does bum bum bum, which is the Toho sequence. I'm gonna show you guys. Yeah, this is not a Toho sequence. He's wandering around with the harmony. Yeah, that was the Toho sequence. It's coming again. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, cool melody. You all need to try orchestral versions of Toho songs. Dude, I did a video on that. Let me just stop to say this, because I really like that video I did on an orchestral arrangement on a Toho song. I forget which one it is. I forget the name. But that was literally one of my favorite experiences with Toho music. It transformed the music so nicely, and it made the composition shine so well. I would be down to listen to more of that. I think the orchestral track that I heard from Toho was from an orchestral collection, I think, a Toho orchestral collection. I would be down to listen to that. There's orchestral versions of Toho songs where let's I'm gonna show you guys. Let me look up Davi Vasc, because I don't remember the song, but I know I did a video on it. Let me see. Where is it? I have to hold up. I have to scroll past the 800 Mugenics videos I did. Oh, here it is. Let me take this link over here.
For games, and today we're listening to Toho.
Look at that guy.
This Toho track comes with a challenge from the patron who recommended. Here's the challenge.
Let's just get to the song, just to show you guys how cool it is. I'll be down to do a
Neo Super Express.
stream of this.
This is orchestral Toho, which is exciting.
Doviception.
I don't think I've ever heard orchestral Toho.
This melody is so nice.
Man, that's so amazing. sounds so different than...
Isn't it nice? I think this concert is a whole collection where they played a bunch of Toho songs. I'll be down to do a stream listening to this whole thing. But anyway, let's continue this. Next video, need to react to this segment of this stream. Dude, this is different. It's not loopy. There's some weird synths like doing crazy arpeggios. Oh yeah, now it's looping. Listen to this ominous, scary descent. Listen. It's starting now. Disturbing chord. Disturbing chord again. So this is Clown Piece's theme. I mean, just by this... Oh, this is new, actually. It's not looping. The whole sequence. Yeah, just by that despair, I would guess this is a boss theme, right? As is usually the case with character themes in Toho. Yeah, Zumpets. I gotta say, it doesn't sound very American. Is this really a Toho theme for an American clown? If I was listening to this without any context, I don't think I would be able to guess that. I probably wouldn't have been able to guess it's a clown, and I wouldn't have been able to guess it's an American clown. She's not actually American. Okay. But dude, one thing I would be able to guess, yeah, Linterna says it's a very hard fight. That seems evident to me. It seems like a particularly terrifying fight. There's some clown vibes. Yeah, but there's... I wouldn't say there's more clown vibes than the usual Toho track. Because the usual Toho track sounds kind of clowny. It sounds like kind of jumpy and bouncy and happy. The standard... The average Toho track already sounds kind of clowny. Zyra says, my culture is not her costume. Are you feeling offended by the cultural appropriation? That was interesting. What's most interesting about this one for me is how terrifying it is. How terrifying it is. It seems... We know that Zune, by his own admission, sometimes composes like tracks at random. He doesn't try too hard to put some sophisticated meaning into the tracks. But in this one, it seems like he made a very clear effort to make the theme sound very terrifying. Probably because the fight is very hard, right? Abigail says, I didn't like it at first, but by the end, I was really enjoying it. Master says, I really liked it. The Zumpets here on the second part really enhance it, I feel like. The boss is infamous for its difficulty. Brawlman says, apparently the games mostly exist just so he can make music. Yeah, I've heard about that. And he talked about that. He just makes whatever song he wants without thinking too much about it. There's a few exceptions, of course. Sometimes he tries hard to put a certain type of characteristic into a theme because that theme is going to go to a certain character. But mostly he's just composing whatever he wants. And then he makes a character for that track. Linterna says, she's a clown mocking and annoying the Lunarius on the move. So he carries the American flag to annoy the Lunarius. Oh wow. Interesting. So let's go to the next one. The next one is Fantilia the Undying. Boss theme from Honkai Star Rail. The Toho one is gonna fade out. And the next one is going to start. Yeah, this part, when I hear this part, it does sound kind of clowny. But again, not significantly more clowny than the average Toho track. Atkins says, more gacha. Honkai is gacha, right? Okay, this is the next one. Fantilia the Undying. That is... It almost feels repetitive saying this over and over again, but that's Bulgarian choir again. It's so prevalent in video game music. Yeah, exactly. New Master says they really love this choir style. I mean, it is really cool. I never used it in one of my tracks. Maybe I should. There's samples for this. You don't even have to have like a real choir. Yeah, and there's... Sounds like Middle Eastern percussion. Yeah. Mystical 5, yeah. Xenosaga, yeah, they have this in Xenosaga. That's right. Oh, the electronic beat. The brass hits made me think of Monster Hunter, but dude, you know what made me think of Monster Hunter in this track? The Bulgarian choir itself. They use it in Monster Hunter Tri. Everybody likes this kind of choir. But yeah, they were giving like a bunch of emphatic hits on this intro. There's the Bulgarian choir. I felt like the percussion was a little Middle Eastern. There was a little Middle Eastern taste to it. So they're like blending cultures, right? A lot of people do this to create a sense of fantasy, a sense of fantasy, a sense of a fantasy culture, right? They blend different elements from different cultures and create a new thing. Yeah, Monster Hunter, they use Bulgarian choir in Monster Hunter. Now the electronic beat came up, and so far it feels like they're holding back. This is a boss theme, so, and I can see there's multiple phases. So I feel like they're holding back on this first phase. A lot of times it's just look at that, just like staccato hits on the choir. Look at this, very few stuff going on. This feels like they're very much holding back. They're building anticipation. Yosu's leaving. Bye bye, Yosu. Yeah, the electronic beat. That's not second phase yet. Oh, okay. Beautiful. The choir is in unison with the strings, and now we have second phase. Do you think the choir is actually saying something or just chanting for the vibe? This sounds to me like a real choir. It doesn't sound like a sampled choir. It's hard to tell, like, cause some samples nowadays are very realistic. This sounds like a real choir. If it's a real choir, it's almost certain that the composer gave them some words to read, right? Let me see. It sounds like words. Yeah, there's no way they can do this. Like, the question on whether this is a sampled choir or a real choir is answered at the beginning of the second phase. I don't think you can do this with samples. This. I'll be very surprised if this is a sampled choir. This reminds me of Nine Sols as well. They use this kind of choir in Nine Sols. And now we have melody. Dude, and the melody, there's an Asian feel to the melody. There's such a mishmash of cultures in this. Oh, they're building up. I wonder where we're gonna end up in third phase. Oh my god, the beat. Look at that. They build up and then they hold back again. Yeah, it's speaking up, speaking up. The electronic beat again. Though, dude, the ladies are rapping. Wow, Bulgarian choir in the hood. What do you think they're singing about? Like social issues in Bulgaria? That was really cool. I mean, we were saying at the beginning, we were kind of bored at the beginning at the fact that we're hearing yet another Bulgarian choir. This little rap part completely justified the use of the Bulgarian choir. I've never seen that. Yo. As an expert in Slavic languages, I think this is gibberish. Interesting. Oh, wow. Are you guys still seeing me? Is the stream okay? The stream is okay, right? I gotta... Oh, but we're back, right? We're back. Are we okay? It lagged a bit. Okay, but we're back. Okay, so let's continue. So right now, it became more positive. Interesting. So that's the end of second phase. Second phase was really imposing and intimidating. There were some interesting moments there, like the electronic beat in the Bulgarian rap or whatever they were saying. Right at the end of second phase, delayed. What do you guys mean by delayed? What does that mean? Are we okay? Should I continue? I don't know what you guys mean by delayed. YouTube says the stream is fine now. I'm having a lot of technical issues. It buffered. I should probably just continue. Yeah, right at the end of second phase, the song started getting more positive. They started utilizing some sequences of happy, triumphant chords. It's the first time in the song that I felt a higher sense of virtue and heroism. Because all this time it felt like the song was portraying this boss, which sounds exotic and terrifying. Right there at the end of second phase, it felt like the song was finally portraying maybe the protagonist who are fighting her, or some sort of heroic aspect to this fight. Look at that, look at that. Happy chord, happy chord. Other happy chord, other happy chord. And not, wow, that's really amazing. That's a really amazing sequence there. He does happy chord, other happy chord, surprising happy chord. Is a sequence of 3 happy chords ascending, super like overwhelmingly glorious. Let's see it again. Happy chord. It hits like a ton of bricks. Heroic bricks. Okay, so that's the end, and now we have third phase. You know, guys, this is another cool aspect of these streams, shorter streams from the Patreon picks, is that there's no limit, there's no length limit on the tracks. So this is a pretty long track, and we're listening to all of it. If this was one of those capitalism streams or democracy streams, we would have cut this short already. Suzume, Tom Sai says Suzume. I feel like I've heard of that. Suzume. What is that? Is that an anime? Socha says, I'm also curious about the synthetic arpeggios. I actually didn't notice that. Let me go back a little bit. Oh, I just noticed. Dude, that's cool. I was paying so much attention to the harmony. I didn't even notice the arpeggios. Yeah, there's a trippy, electronic, like alien sounding arpeggio. It's an anime film. Okay, I watched that. I watched that a long time ago. I recognize the name. Okay, completely different vibe. Oh. Okay. More positive than the beginning. Seems like they're picking up on the heroic end to second phase, and third phase is starting more heroic. Happy chord, happy chord. Okay, so at the end of second phase, remember they were doing that sequence with 3 happy chords in sequence. This time, they are starting the sequence with the same first happy chord, but they are straying away from it. It starts happy, you get that sensation of heroism and virtue and victory that we got in the second phase, but it strays away from it and goes to a sad chord. Oh, and the electronic arpeggios are there. Oh, what is that? Oh, beautiful strings. It feels like... Oh, amazing strings. Okay. Happy chord, happy chord. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okami vibes, yes, Okami vibes. It's interesting. Happy chord, happy chord. They're doing the super happy sequence again. It's funny how as the song goes, it becomes more and more positive instead of more... Oh, it's over. It becomes more and more positive as opposed to more and more tense and urgent. You know, with boss themes with multiple phases, it's very common for the theme to become more urgent and more tense and more dangerous as it goes. This one starts and it feels like kind of claustrophobic. It feels like they're holding back, but then towards the end of second phase, it starts becoming heroic, and then third phase is pretty heroic. It feels more human. Third phase, because there's dramatic strings, there's a lot of happy chords, rising sequences of heroic chords. Is interesting. And third phase got more Asian as well. If you, I want to listen to third phase again. Yeah, they keep doing the happy chords. Yeah, Zero says, I was expecting something more tense for a boss battle. Yep, me too. Yeah, exactly. Apple Juice says it feels like a more personal boss fight. I agree. Especially third phase. Third phase feels like it brings out a lot of the humanity in the fight. I don't know the story, but there's so much... These strings, man, there's so much soul. Yeah, Abigail says, I enjoyed it. Yeah, did you guys like it? I really like this one. It's one of my favorites in the stream. It's one of my favorites. Listen to this moment. So dramatic, right? I don't know what this is portraying, if it's portraying the boss or the protagonist. Whatever it is, there's a real drama going on. Like, there's some real emotions involved in this. Cool. So this one is gonna end, and we're gonna go to the last track of the day, which is Wait for Truth from Live Alive from Yoko Shimomura. Okay. Next up, Yoko Shimomura. And this one is... Sarah is here. Hey, Sarah. Dude, this is vintage Shimomura. Classic. I've never heard this before. I never played Live Alive. I should probably, because I like Shimomura so much. Exactly, Super Mario RPG vibes. But is this... I know this is for the Super Nintendo, but is this before or after? I think this is before Super Mario RPG, right? Because Super Mario RPG was 96, and that's pretty late for the Super Nintendo. And Shimoda worked at Capcom first. She did Street Fighter 2, then she moved to Square Enix. I mean, it was Squaresoft at the time. And I think she did this right first, and then Super Mario RPG. But yeah, I can definitely feel the Super Mario RPG vibes, which is crazy because this, I think this was before she composed for any Mario game at all. She already had the Mario soul even before that. That's so fascinating. Yeah, this feels like it could be a song in one of those Mario and Luigi games, for example, Paper Mario. Yeah. Simple Saw bass, yes. Reminds me of the GameCube Pokemon games. Zira says. Dude, so cool. Such a short track though. It's a shame. I know Live Alive is a game that has like different types of scenarios, right? Don't you travel through time and there's like a cowboy scenario and a samurai one or something like that? I love the way she chose to use the harmonica for the Mecha Chaoter and not the cowboy chapter. Yeah, there's cowboy stuff. Fun instrumentation choice. And it's so simple too, man. That's one thing that really impresses me about all these video game music masters from the Super Nintendo days. There's a harp doing an arpeggio. Not an arpeggio really, just an arrangement, a little thing. Such vibes. Yeah, such vibes. It's really fun. That's one of the things that I like doing in video game music, just checking out early works of composers I like. Is really fun to see how much Mario there is in this, even though she had never composed for a Mario game ever up to this point. Signa is leaving. Bye bye, Signa. But guys, this is the last track of the day, and this is it. This is it. The short stream. I want these Patreon streams to be shorter, because then we can give a ton of individual attention to each track. Dude, I like this. I like this. By the way, the VOD of this stream is gonna be available on Patreon. It's not gonna be on YouTube. So if you want to have access to the VODs, Patreon is the way to go. We're gonna have another stream like this one next week. Next week's stream is gonna be the picks of all of our music masters. I think it's a good idea to have a stream like this dedicated just to the music oracles and the music gods, because it makes it more like premium, like something just for them. Yeah, nice chill stream in short, man. It's so good, so good. Short stream. Now the stream is over. I have the entire day off. I was needing something like this, you know. And then on Saturday, I'm not gonna stream. I'm gonna rest a little bit. I can't work this much, man. I have to take care of myself and take it easy. And while I take it easy, I can do streams like this and have fun with you guys. I'm really excited about this format because it's something new and cool, but it also allows me to take it easier, right? So, are the VODs available for free are the VODs available for free patrons? Wow, that's a tongue twister. No, it's gonna be for paid patrons. Paid patrons. You have to pay. You have to pay. I mean, the stream is free, of course, but the VOD you have to pay. Okay. But the good thing is, even if you don't want to pay, next week there's another one, so you just catch the next one live. Okay. So guys, I think I'm gonna end it here. This was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Tune in next time. Go to Patreon if you want to get into the next stream next week. Go on Patreon. It's guaranteed. There's no random selection. There's no poll or anything. You just say a track, and it's gonna show up on the next stream. Okay. So, guys, it's time to say bye to me in the chat, so I can say bye right back to you, and I'll see you next week. So, bye bye, Abigail, Soul Chat, Apple Juice, Abkin, Tom Side, Enginet, Lysander, Pompolga, Noobmaster, Zyra, Brawlman. Bye bye, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you next week. Get on Patreon. Get your track in. Bye bye.